So I am Dr. Bhavna Tharagi. I am the Deputy Head of the Research, Development and the Curriculum Division of the CISCE. Good afternoon to all the esteemed educators and principals who have joined us today for the launch of the pilot of the CISC Curriculum Transformation Project. On behalf of the Council for the Indian School Certificate Examination, I extend my gratitude to all of you for accepting to be a part of this pilot project with CISCE. As you all know, that CISCE has a rich legacy of academic excellence and distinguished contribution to school education in India, has always stood as a beacon of progressive and forward-looking learning, rooted in strong values, yet responsive to the evolving needs of the 21st century. The board continues its journey to uphold its tradition of nurturing balanced, reflective, and capable learners for the 21st century. It is my proud privilege to invite Dr. Joseph
Recording in
Emmanuel,
progress.
nationally and internationally renowned eminent educationist and the Chief Executive and Secretary of CISC, to kindly deliver the keynote address for the launch of this curriculum transformation project. Sir, it is under his visionary leadership that CISCE is taking this momentous step today. Sir, please.
Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you, Dr. Bhavna, for that lovely introduction and warm welcome extended to all the participants of today's webinar. I join Dr. Bhavna in extending a warm wishes and greetings to all of you. We have with us our technical and knowledge partners, Exan Pedagogy, led by Mrs. Sangeeta Chima and team. And we have also joined by the officers of RDCD of CISC, led by Dr. Bhavna, and the selected schools from across the country who have taken that bold initiative or decision to join for this pilot program of curriculum transformation in the CISC ecosystem. We are very happy that we have received an overwhelming response from our affiliated schools. Leading schools from across the country have joined this program, and they have taken the responsibility of being the master trainers to train the remaining schools by taking the experience of this pilot program. So this is a journey. It's not a one-time exercise. As all of us are aware that the time is changing, and CISC is having a rich legacy. In fact, at the time of independence, CISC is the only board with that credibility and legacy existed in the country. Over a period of time, other school boards and international boards also came up and they started operationalizing in India. And it is very important for CISC to modernize itself to bring best experience to our students. In a fast changing world, in an ever evolving and ever changing world, today rote memorization has no place. Whereas largely our education ecosystem in the school education sector is still following the rote memorization method. One way our board exams are responsible for this, but we need to bring changes to transact the curriculum in the classroom to prepare for a change in the board exam pattern. The National Education Policy clearly says that the Indian education system should move away from rote learning to competency-based, application-based learning. So what is competency-based learning or application-based learning? One is, in the application-based learning, there is an active involvement of all the stakeholders. Learner himself has an active role rather than only at the receiving end to receive information. the learner will play a very important role. And the teachers will take the role of a facilitator rather than passing of information to the children, and collaboration of stakeholders. In an educational ecosystem, teachers, parents, and students are three very key focus areas or key components. And along with it, the society as a whole, the management of the school, the leadership, the school boards, everybody has a role. So, bringing everyone together to make everyone understand the need of bringing the transformation in the teaching, learning, and assessment practices, to make the children think critically, to be able to solve problems by gaining that critical thinking skill, collaborate meaningfully with the society and the rest of the world, act ethically, responsibly, a responsible and value based citizen. That should be the end product of our school system. Adapt change. It's a very important quality in life, adaptability. So, a person with a growth mindset, a go getter, willingness to change, adapt, adopt, and evolve, and to become a lifelong learner. These are all the attributes of the 21st century learner. We need to bring all those skill set, competencies, and components into our classrooms to make our classrooms a refined one, aligning with the global competencies and the vision of the national education policy. Very well known boards across the country. I'm not naming anyone. All the international boards, very well known school boards, those who are functioning and operating in India, what they do, first of all, they have a very limited student base, whereas Indian boards like CISC has a very large school base and very large student base. So the quality is not equally distributed among all the classrooms and all the schools. So there is a need to bring quality to every school and quality to every classroom. And this will happen through by creating an enabling environment in the educational ecosystem of CISC. So that process begins today. Understanding the need for changing. And if there is a need for changing, then what is the best way to change? And how this change will happen? And for bringing that change and to provide the best learning opportunity to our children to make them as successful individuals in the adult life, what we need to do? What are the skill set and competencies and abilities needs to be developed in every learner in the changing world and changing scenario? And how that skill sets can be developed while transacting our curriculum content in the classroom. These are all very important aspects of our curriculum transactional or transformational project. So you are not alone. All of us are together in this journey. And by joining in this pilot program, you have shown tremendous courage and you have also proven your willingness to change, your willingness to adopt innovation in your school, your willingness to explore new things, new ideas in the teaching learning process. And this initiative will transform the culture of your school. And this initiative will also help the whole ecosystem to come out with novel ideas to transform the educational ecosystem of schools affiliated to the council. It has to happen. We have to lead the school education sector in the country and to remain as the best example for the schools in the country. And if CISE can do, then only the idea will be floated and shared with other school boards across the country. So CISC has been the torchbearer of reforms in the country from the very beginning, and that legacy should continue. And it will happen through you now. And let me congratulate the Research, Development and Curriculum Division of CISC for taking this wonderful initiative. And they are the backbone of this program with the technical and knowledge partnership of EXA and Pedagogy, Mrs. Sangeeta Chima, a renowned educator from India and with lots of experience at the international education and fraternity, international education field. She has been serving multiple institutions at a different part of the world and gained tremendous understanding of the knowledge system of the modern society. So it is going to be an interesting journey, collective journey. Let's begin this journey, and over a period of time, the expertise gained here, you should be willing to share with others. And this is an exploration. You and the council and its knowledge partners will be undertaking this journey together. We will be experimenting things, we will be exploring new things, and coming to an understanding of the best practices to be followed in every school. Every school is unique, every school is serving in different context. So, contextualized approaches should happen. And the ability of the school head and the teachers to adapt to various situations will help us to develop that adaptable mechanism suitable for every school. And in that process, a lot of resource material will be shared with you, lot of hand holding will happen, empowerment sessions will be organized for the whole school, resource materials will be shared with the school, and above all, we will be linking the assessment practices connected to this transformation journey. Whatever you are teaching in the classroom can only be assessed in the examination. Gradually, with the introduction of this reformed curriculum practice in the classroom, first we will test the waters through the key stage assessment at 358, how things are working. And based on the performance of students in the key stage assessment, we will also draw a line for the board exam classes, 10 and 12 subsequently. So it is going to be a very comprehensive approach, systematic approach, scientific approach to change the classrooms of our affiliated schools. So once again, congratulations to each one of you for being part of this pilot program, and all our partners and well wishers for helping CISE in undertaking this novel initiative to realize the vision of National Education Policy 2020. Let's work together. Let us make a mark. Let's bring transformation to the curriculum transaction and outcomes of school education in the country. All the best to everyone. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Bhavana.
Thank you so much, sir. Those are really inspiring words. We can see the schools who have joined us. We are a strong community, sir, and under your leadership, we hope that we can, bring about those changes in the learning outcomes of students that we thought of. And may I request the schools to kindly switch on the cameras? Let us have a look at the community together and look at, feel the strength of the CISC community coming together to help make school education better for all our students. Yeah, so that's a good thing. We can see all of them have opened the videos. Teachers are there. With these enlightening words and this enthusiasm, let us now invite to the platform Mrs. Sangeeta Chima, the founder director of the EDSAN Pedagogy, the team lead of EDSAN Pedagogy. Ma'am, you're most welcome to the platform. We are truly delighted to have you here with us today, and as the technical knowledge partner for the CISE Curriculum Transformation Plan, ma'am. Welcome to the platform. It's all yours now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bhavna. It's an honor and it's a pleasure to be with a group of educators that are now destined to do something different. I must thank Dr. Emmanuel for pioneering this program. Your leadership has been extraordinary, and I'm sure the eventual output, the eventual impact will be absolutely splendid. I will take a minute to share the screen and begin with what is known as the most important day in the transformative journey today. A webinar, a wow webinar that will get everybody to be aware, to be advocates, and then to dwell in agency, to take it all up yourselves. Just give me a minute. Thank you. Before I commence, I would like to introduce Team Edzan. We have with us Ms. Bala Sadasivan, Colonel Thota, Mr. Joseph John, and Ms. Rachita Jayant. We also collaborate with 34 other subject experts from across the country to bring what is known as a truly, genuinely transformative journey to all the classrooms of all CISCE schools. The CISCE Curriculum Transformation Project is a 4-year endeavor, but it will continue lifelong. This is a council-led shift from content coverage to competency mastery, designed to make learning more rigorous, more equitable, and more relevant for every learner. This initiative is inherently aligned with the NEP 2020 and the NCF 2023, translating their intent into a coherent classroom-ready system that prioritizes deep learning, authentic application, and demonstrable mastery. At its core, this transformation also aligns the CISCE with global competency expectations. So learners are prepared not only to succeed in assessments, but to thrive in life and in work. Let's get the directive clear. To quote from India's national education policy, the key overall thrust of curriculum and pedagogy reform across all stages will be to move the education system towards real understanding and towards learning how to learn, as Dr. Emmanuel just mentioned, and away from the culture of rote learning, as is largely present today, unquote. Imagine the power of a nation of classrooms that truly learn how to think, not just what to remember. This isn't just policy change, it's a new way of thinking about what matters in education. It is a shift in mindset. And now let's get interactive. I would request all the participants of this webinar to engage with the chat and also keep your mobiles ready so that we could have a Menti quiz on and off. If you had to write just one word in the chat right now, one word you hope students master beyond exams, what would it be? Just get active, everybody, and express your thoughts. And I would request Ms. Bala to please elaborate on the responses. Because if exams are all pervasive, if they silently define our timetables, our homework, our anxiety, our conversations, our self worth, then we must ask with complete honesty, Are exams the destination or merely one checkpoint on a much longer journey? I can see a lot of expression on the chat. Let's reflect on the words that come out. We are seeing empathy, confidence, curiosity, resilience, creativity, skills, lovely, and much, much more. Thank you very much for your expression. I know that there is this deep desire to invent and reinvent a lot that exists in the education world today. I feel that we're not just going to rest on marks and look at the ranks that are generally the measure of outcome. Oh, yes, and stress management. Lovely. That's what the children need to get away with. Thank you very much. That's been an overwhelming performance. Let's continue with a quick reflection on the needs analysis recently conducted a few weeks ago. This data compilation is not just a survey, it's a collective voice of the CISCE community. Principals and teachers have contributed to this process so far, making it truly representative and inclusive. Together, we are just not changing a curriculum, we are shaping the future of learning in our country. This strong positive start gives us confidence as we enter the pilot phase, and all of us are together in this pilot phase. It tells us that this is not a top down reform, but a community driven journey, one that belongs to every CISCE school and every learner. This is perhaps the clearest message emerging from the survey. An overwhelming 89% of principals agree that our system must move from content heavy teaching to competency based learning. This is not a marginal opinion. It is a strong, unified mandate from school leaders and teachers across the country, all of you included. It reflects a deep awareness that memorization alone cannot prepare learners for a rapidly changing world. This alignment between leadership, vision, and goals of the curriculum transformation project gives us a powerful foundation. It tells us that the system is not resisting change, it is instead ready for it. The next finding is also both encouraging and reassuring. An overwhelming 90% of principals and teachers indicate that their schools are ready for a phased CISCE led curriculum transformation. This tells us that the intent of change always exists within the system. Schools are not willing to be waiting, they are not convinced, but they are prepared to begin the journey. At the same time, the interpretation is very clear. Readiness is strongest when change is well scaffolded and thoroughly paced and strongly supported. As we view the consolidated findings of the needs analysis, first, there is a strong mandate for competency based education, with nearly 9 out of 10 principals and teachers supporting the shift. This is from the data that we have compiled. Second, schools are ready for a phased transformation, and importantly, teachers' preparedness is seen as strength, not a barrier. At the same time, the data highlights two critical challenges: curriculum overload and assessment structures that limit innovative learning. Finally, while some flexibility already exists, it is not clearly understood, or do we operationalize these at a school level with a particular intent. However, the needs analysis is exceptionally useful data, and we will work towards implementing all the areas of concern which we have shared. But the overwhelming response and the positivity has been brilliant. So let's look at the sessions architecture. Yes, it's advocacy, it's awareness and agency. 120 minutes, and we're already well into the webinar. Here we have 7 agenda blocks, 7 building blocks that take us from I know of CBE, competency-based education, to I can implement this with confidence, explain it to stakeholders, and design it consistently. 3 of these blocks are the spark delivered through the WOW webinars today. CBE Unlocked Live, from syllabus to skill set, the competency shift. The rest are workshops, full day workshops in various cities, which will give you, which will unravel, which will open up the entire process for every single master trainer. Let's do a pulse check. Get your phones ready. Before we build shared understanding, let's not talk about getting it right. Let's talk about getting aligned. So we begin with a quick Menti poll. Open menti.com now in your mobiles. I'll give you a few seconds. Use the QR code or enter the numeric code and respond to this question. How confident are you right now? How confident are you about competency-based education? I mean, we are talking about it. We know there's a lot that has to be done. Many schools have ventured forth. But in this poll, very honestly, how confident are you about competency-based education? Enter it through a scale from 1 to 5, not confident yet, highly confident, and ready to apply. I'm so glad there's an amazing response. Go with your first answer, the honest response. Wonderful. 168.79. This is a zoom up. And the range is amazing. Very appreciative indeed. Thank you very much. We'll move on. The result is our starting point, not a scorecard. Whether you choose 1, 3, or 5, you are exactly where you need to be for today's task. And we have a promise for you for the next 60 minutes or so. Awareness, you will understand. And advocacy, you will be able to implement. And agency will be your strong point. If you take just one message from what you see on the screen, let it be this. CISCE's shift to competency is not an additional initiative. It is the direct practical enactment of NEP 2020 and NCF 2023. You can see both the documents there. The NCF 2023 then translates policy from the NEP through curriculum logic, clear learning standards, stage-wise competencies, and an explicit flow down from aims to curricular goals to competencies is the way that has been described. So classroom practice and assessment also begin to align. Now, here is where competency-based education becomes the enabling architecture because it operationalizes NEP and NCF into daily teaching and learning. The key tenets are students advance upon mastery, not seed time. Progress is based on evidence, not elapsed time. It doesn't matter how long, but what the outcome has been in your learning for the student. Competencies are explicit, measurable, and transferable. Assessment is meaningful and a positive learning experience. Support is timely and differentiated. Learning outcomes emphasize application and creation of knowledge. So, when we say competency alignment, we are saying something very concrete. NEP sets the direction, NCF builds the blueprint, CBE provides the operating system. The council, the CISCE, is now implementing it with fidelity at scale. The process to unlock the marvel, to unlock the miracle. A disciplined end to end process is curated in collaboration with the RDCD, with the council, and several scholars for a successful transformation. The strategy is clear. We will achieve system level coherence with classroom level impact, and the pathway is built for assured success. The rationale to create school systems that improve learning at scale, and that's what each one of you are involved with right now. This is our first tete-a-tete for a long journey. The methodology includes research and benchmarking, innovation and design, development, pilot with real-time testing, implementation, support. This is how we perform, this is how we prevent reform by documentation and deliver reform by practice. The goal, that lovely, successful outcome, the CISCE scholar whose learner identity we intentionally build through the curriculum transformation project. Every element of this process serves one outcome, a CISCE scholar who is ready for life, not merely exam ready. Preparing for the unpredictable, for a life which none of us can ever assume to be normal or to be desirable the way we wish it. The council has set a goal for itself, and these goals focus on the product, the student that leaves the council after that learning journey. The character attributes include self-directed learner, ethical thinker, agile collaborator, sustainable innovator, courageous change maker, a cultural empath, and a resilient entrepreneur. A cultural empath is my favorite. What a beautiful human being he or she would make. By purposefully designing the curriculum documents, the pedagogical approaches, and assessment systems around these 7 attributes, A CISCE scholar will not only master content, but will emerge as a true scholar with a learner identity, ready for the challenges of tomorrow. The why and the why now. The rationale. This transformation is essential because the purpose of schooling has evolved beyond a curriculum centered mainly on content coverage and high stakes recall. Hence, this transformation is very crucial, it is vital. And the now calls for learning that is deeper, more meaningful, and demonstrably transferable to life beyond the classroom. So, why now? There are those wonderful reasons that we believe in and we understand: national direction, better pedagogy, equity and inclusivity. These are non negotiable. Evidence based outcomes, adaptability, the key skill that was spoken of as we began this webinar. The system becomes responsive. Curriculum and assessments are refined through pilots, data, teacher input, and iterative improvement, so implementation strengthens year after year. Curriculum transformation is comprehensive. It's been curated with a lot of very important research based mechanisms which have come to a important implication in this project. At the top, you will see NEP 2020 and NCF 2023, our national mandate. At the center is where the real work happens, curriculum transformation. This is the engine. This is what changes classrooms, not just policy documents. On the left are future-oriented standards: OECD, WEF, ISTE, NGSS, SAMR, TPAC. These remind us that our learners are stepping into a world shaped by technology, complexity, and constant change. On the right are global and national benchmarks: PISA, TIMSS, PEARLS. These keep us honest. They ask, can our students apply, reason, and perform on a global stage? And anchoring everything below is inclusion. UDL, UBD, Webb's alignment, Master's Insights. This is a promise that every learner can succeed, not just few. So, when we talk about competency based education, this is what we mean: a national vision, global alignment, inclusive design, and future ready learning coming together in one coherent curriculum, that of the council. Let's get ready for another quick poll. And this is going to be very interesting because there could be an equal balance. We don't know what the outcome will be. Log on to Menti again, put in the code, and answer the poll question: which alignment currently influences your teaching practice the most? And the poll options are the national vision, future oriented skills and standards, global and national benchmarks, inclusive learning design. Type one word or one phrase in the chat. Which alignment feels most yours at the moment? Just choose the one that speaks to you right now. There is no right answer here, but your professional instinct. Take a moment, choose one anchor, and let us know what drew you to it. It's almost unbelievable. As per the Mentimeter graph, there has been an equal balance of all the poll options, and therefore, this is a clear indication that we have made the right decisions in designing the developmental program for this transformation of the curriculum. The process overview is very important because it is unique, it's exclusive, and it has come up through a lot of conversations and insights from the RDCD and the CISE leaders. This transformation follows a clear human centered process because the change at this scale must be intentional, not rushed. And therefore, this is just a beginning, 4 years, and many more decades. We begin with listening, deep needs analysis, and transparent communication with all stakeholders. Next comes the WOW webinars, which we are in already, the first one, and there will be many every year whenever there is a need for moments of awareness, advocacy, and educator agency. This is where the mindsets begin to shift. We then move to action through WOW workshops, where educators design, develop, and prepare to implement competency-based learning in real classroom. This is support and handholding at its best, and it'll be a continuous process. It's never ever going to stop. From here, we pilot with purpose. More than 150 K8 schools, of course, the whole school, but we're looking at the K8 sector, the 3 stages. And I'm so glad that all of you are participating in the first webinar already. We begin the K8 pilot from April 2026, learning from diverse contexts and building evidence that works at scale. In April 2027, the transformation expands to classes 9 and 11, and by April 2028 to classes 10 and 12. Carefully staged, deeply supportive, and systems ready. And we are always open to feedback at any time of the year during the pilot stage and the scale ups. This is not a one time rollout. It is a thoughtful national journey from preparation to practice to sustained impact. The process frameworks are to be understood. This slide shows how the transformation is anchored in strong research led frameworks, not assumptions. We begin with a competency based curriculum framework. This clarifies that learners must be able to do not just what they should know, but they should be absolutely confident in their learning journey. From here, we design clear vertical progression. So, learning, building, constructing, creating works meaningfully from one stage to the other without gaps or repetition. Scope and sequence brings coherence, ensuring depth, balance, and developmental appropriateness across every curricular area. Assessment is then aligned, not added, so to evidence learning through reflection, application, and growth, we have a good structure. And finally, there are 2 wonderful frameworks that will support all council schools brilliantly: teacher resource materials and student resource materials. If we said that one of the character attributes is a self directed learner for a CISCE scholar, here you are. The student resource material will be one of the support segments that we offer. We are communicating with stakeholders on priority. The awareness and advocacy webinars are not a one off event, they will continue, as you can see in this schedule. Timelines for the WOW workshops are well structured for the pilot program as well as for the first scale up, which will begin in 2027 next year. From the pilot program, we will proudly have master trainers who will take responsibility for the implementation of the program in their own school, as well as in a cluster of schools for the first scale up. You will notice that from July to February next year, every day of the month, a WOW workshop will be held somewhere in the country, creating more master trainers, more master trainers. The numbers are all planned and structured here below. Scale up 2 and 3 are where leadership multiplies, where master trainers become mentors, anchors, and change agents across regions. From syllabus to skill set, we move into the second block of our journey, and this is where the shift becomes real. So far, we've explored why change is essential. Now we focus on how learning transforms. This next block is titled From Syllabus to Skill Set because competency based education is not about adding more content. It is about redesigning what learners need to know and what learning enables a child to do. In this space, we unpack the competency shift. We show how syllabi become skill sets, frameworks become classrooms, and intention becomes practice. This is a live working conversation where blueprints turn into breakthroughs. It is also where you, as educators and master trainers, step fully into agency, designing for mastery, not coverage. So, as we move forward, stay curious, stay open, and stay bold. This is the point when learning begins to stick. If you are on a crosswalk, a happy CISC teacher you can see there on the road with a bunch of cheering cheerleaders, her students. Think of this moment as if all of us are on a crosswalk. It's important to expose your vulnerability. The teacher carries the existing syllabus. It is familiar, trusted, and valued. Stepping onto the crosswalk feels vulnerable, as I said. Every step matters. The traffic of expectations, assessments, time, pressures is real. But this is not a blind crossing. Each strip on the road is a deliberate step from content coverage to competency transfer. And the CISC curriculum transformation plan is the signal that stops the traffic. How wonderful it is if you can imagine it, right? Everybody and everything comes to a screeching halt. And you have the honor of crossing forth from one side to the other through an extraordinary, carefully designed framework that ensures a safe crossing. No one is asked to leap. Everyone is supported to move step by step into learning that truly prepares children for life. It's a story of teachers and her students. This is also a policy crosswalk. The NEP and NCF clearly envisage seamless synergies from the early years through school to higher education. We are standing at the cusp of a system wide transformation of how we learn, teach, govern schools, build capacity, and use technology. School education is shifting from content delivery to experiential, inquiry driven, learner centered learning. Each step on this crosswalk moves from syllabus to skill set, guided, deliberate, and protected. The CISCE curriculum transformation plan turns this national vision into a classroom reality. Yeah, this is the wonder, the scholastic curricular area aura. You can see the entire calculation, as you would call it, of the design. This slide is the blueprint. It is a quadrant formula derived from the scholastic curricular areas mapped stage wise from foundation to secondary. Nothing here is arbitrary. Every placement is constructively designed through clearly defined curricular goals and competencies. The quadrants show continuity, how learning grows, deepens, and rebalances across stages rather than resetting every year. This is how content becomes capability through deliberate progression and not just by accumulation. For teachers, this blueprint provides clarity. For learners, it ensures coherence. For school, for all schools, it guarantees alignment. This is the architecture that allows competency based learning to function at scale, systemic, balanced, and defensible. I would like you to know that during the WOW workshops, a deliberate detailing and understanding of the blueprint will be shared with all the master trainers, and you will be empowered to take it back to your school and to other schools in your region. That pink dot in the center is the starting point. And here, once you master the flow, you will understand how beautiful the journey is, how meaningful the journey is, and you will be able to see that wow and glow in the outcome. The curriculum architecture moves from that white patch which you saw in the previous slide, being placed in the core focus central point. At the center sits the scholastic curriculum, mapped stage by stage through clearly articulate competencies. Surrounding this is the co-scholastic spine, not as enrichment, but as integral learning systems. Writing, reading across the curriculum, media and information literacy, natural history, climate studies, and AI and computational thinking are woven through every stage. These are not isolated subjects. They evolve in a deliberate spiral, growing in depth, sophistication, and real world relevance. Encasing the architecture are character attributes: respect, responsibility, resilience. The pink on top, light to dark, with OECD transformational competencies such as agency, well being, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy, the purple strip on either side. Together, this creates a curriculum that is coherent, future ready, and deeply human, where knowledge, skills, values, and agency develop in balance. This is how competency based education moves from concept to lived classroom practice, systemic, integrated, and sustainable. I would like to let you know that when we are at the WOW workshops, this beautifully colored architecture, which started with the blueprint shown in the previous slide, will unravel for all of you. A case for change. Why now? Why didn't we do it all this while, or why can't we do it later? The reason for change is simple and unavoidable. Content coverage no longer guarantees learning. We are at the cusp of system wide transformation: how we learn, how we teach, how we govern schools, how we build capacity, and how we use technology. In a world shaped by AI and automation and complexity, knowing what is no longer enough. Learners must show what they can do with what they know. School education is shifting towards learning that is experiential, as we said before. NEP 2020 and NCF 2023 make this non-negotiable. If we delay, we widen inequity. If we act now, we build capability. That is why competency transfer is not a future plan. It is the work of now. Content to competency walkthrough explains the journey. Let's anchor this with a simple rule of thumb. If you can measure it today, it's a learning outcome. If it travels with the learner across years and contexts, it's a competency. And if it sets long range direction, it's a curricular goal. That sounds so beautiful. This rule helps us move cleanly from content to competency without confusion. Now look at the pyramid. At the top is the national vision from NEP and NCF, setting purpose and direction. As we move down, that vision becomes aims, goals, and competencies within each curricular area. The widest base is intentional. Learning outcomes sit at the foundation because they are the daily pedagogical units, what teachers plan for and what students experience. Strong outcomes create strong competencies. Am I giving out the secret for this entire plan? Intentionally, I am. Strong outcomes create strong competencies. Strong competencies fulfill curricular goals. This structure ensures that big ideas are realized through classroom practice consistently, measurably, and meaningfully. Here is a simple example. Let's make this difference visible. In a content recall classroom, a grade 6 student might memorize what a kilowatt hour is, list renewable and non-renewable sources, and answer questions at the end of the chapter. In a competency-based classroom, the same content becomes a tool. Students calculate the actual energy consumption of appliances in their own homes. They analyze graphs to discover when energy use peaks and why. Then they write a data-backed recommendation suggesting how their family or school could reduce energy use ethically and realistically. The content hasn't changed. What has changed is the outcome. One approach checks if students remember information. The other shows if they can use knowledge to make informed decisions in a real world. That shift from recall to application is the heart of competency based learning. Another example in English, preparatory skills connected are speaking and listening. The competency is not remembering sentences, it is collaborating in discussions, building on others' ideas. Do you give opportunities for your friends to speak up, asking clarifying questions and justifying viewpoints? In a content recall classroom, children may repeat polite phrases or answer when called upon. But that does not show collaboration. In a competency based classroom, the learning outcomes are deliberately designed to make competency visible. Students choose to use sentences which start like, I'd like to add, or another example is, while responding to a peer. They are expected to ask one clarifying and one probing question during group work because meaningful listening is part of the competency. Nothing is done to the learner, everything is done by the learner. The teacher observes real behavior, not recall. This student driven learning, where outcome guides action, the competencies merge through practice. So let's get back on the crossway again. This crossway is the point where transformation becomes implementation. A beautiful metaphor to explain the entire process. On one side sit the big levers: curricular goals, curricular areas, curricular aims, and vertical progression. On the other side is where classrooms live: learning outcomes, success criteria, and tasks. And teachers, I know you can connect with this immediately. The crosswork connects all those strips that you see. Competencies are the bridge, ensuring that every classroom action fulfill a larger curricular purpose. When these gaps are aligned, learning outcomes stop being activities and start becoming evidence of competence. That is the key. Learning outcomes become evidence of competence. This is how curriculum moves from intention to impact, from design to delivery. Unraveling this crosswalk step by step is the exclusive purpose of the WOW workshops. And I'd like all of you to put into your calendar that date and be completely present to take in as much as you can from a face to face interaction. Master trainers will be guided to internalize this logic, apply it in their schools, and then lead implementation through all CISC schools at scale. This is not theoretical understanding, it's an operational mastery, and it is what will make the transformational success. So, the competency shift can be seen in the concept poster on the screen. What the elements typically signify: one, an open book, and on the open book, you have an interwoven loop, a ribbon. This is the icon for the NCF, the Mobius strip, a beautiful mathematical concept. And I just love the idea, the intelligence of putting a Mobius strip to be the icon of the NCF. So, coming out from the book, which is the base, we have arrows that rise outwards, leaning towards a curriculum with capabilities and outcomes. The icons are a gear, which represents systems, a magnifying glass, which is obviously to do with inquiry, evidence, reflection, and improvement, a light bulb for creativity, innovation, new ideas, new solutions, and the target: clear goals, measurable outcomes, and purpose driven learning. NCF, the National Curriculum Framework, is an operational blueprint that implements NEP 2020. Learning is Mobius, not linear. It continuously loops between knowing and doing, revisiting ideas at higher levels of learning, powered by feedback, challenge, and agency. The WOW workshops are where this transformation becomes real. These are not orientation sessions, they are high rigor, hands on, confident building, classroom transaction experiences. In the pilot schools, master trainers will lead implementation with precision, modeling practice, mentoring teachers, and ensuring fidelity to the CBL framework, the framework that I had shown you previously. From April 2027, this responsibility expands exponentially, and that's a huge, huge shift across all CISCE schools, including grades 9 and 11. So we have a smaller startup now, but the next year is the true test. This is one of the most ambitious curriculum transformations undertaken at national scale. Never ever was it done before. And with great pride and honor, every single teacher, every single principal of every single CISCE school will take the baton forward so that their students are better achievers than ever before. What you model now, how you mentor, and how deeply you believe in this shift will determine how competency based learning lives in classrooms across the nation. This is leadership with consequence, and it begins here. We have an intention to shift from intention to action between January and February 2026, where we are already. We begin with awareness. This phase is about alignment. Leaders and teachers develop a shared understanding of CBL. In March 2026, next month, the focus sharpens. Each pilot school sends 3 master trainers for high rigor on site WOW workshops. And I know I will be seeing all of you in person sooner or later. Here, master trainers move beyond understanding into deep design and confident implementation of CBL. Together, these two steps, awareness and capacity, create the foundation for successful transformation. This is how change is prepared deliberately, systematically, and with purpose. From 2026 to 2027, pilot schools move from full class implementation. CBL becomes live through real lessons, supported by ongoing training, mentoring, and strong internal capacity building. What is learned in pilot stages is refined, strengthened, and made ready for scale next year, which is April 2027. The transformation accelerates exponentially. Master trainers lead advanced implementation training and support the rollout of CBL across all CISCE schools. The extension to grades 9 and 11 marks a critical milestone, bringing competency based learning into the senior school. This is how the pilot becomes a movement. This transformation rests on people, not policy. Master trainers are the backbone of this journey. You translate vision into practice, frameworks into classrooms, and intent into impact. Every confident learner we envision begins with a confident master trainer. And I know all of you all are listening on. Hence, this is not a role, this is a responsibility. We define the future of learning across CISCE schools through the minds, the hearts, and the hands of the master trainers. And importantly, the pilot schools. All of you who are now the foot soldiers into the battleground, the task force that has been given responsibility. Pilot schools are not observers in this journey, they are the conscience. You pioneer, you refine, and you model. And that is how you shape CBE in every CISCE classroom. Your classrooms become the proof points, your practices, the benchmarks. Every single pilot school will be an exemplar that implements CBL brilliantly. The CISCE scholar we envision begins here in your schools first, with your leadership and your professional courage. This transformation will travel the nation, but its roots are firmly planted in your schools. Today's WOW webinar was set out to spark deep interest in the CISCE Curriculum Transformation Project, in short called CCTP, and to build shared understanding of competency-based learning, its intent, its design, and its impact. You have seen that this is not a reform of content, but a transformation of learning. This is a national endeavor. Schools from all parts of the subcontinent, carefully envisioned, deeply researched, and led by the CISCE. What comes next will be shaped by how strongly we carry this understanding back to our schools, our classrooms, and our communities. I would like to thank you for your engagement. We have a Q&A session, so please do ask your questions. You may post it on the chat. And your commitment to shaping the future of the CISCE scholar is paramount. The journey has begun, and together we will carry it forward. Thank you very much for your
Thank you
kind
so
attention.
much. Thank you so much, Sangeeta ma'am. I think we all were smiling throughout the webinar. There were these messages that the teacher's heart must be giving each one of them, that this is what we were waiting for. I think CISE now can comfortably, confidently say that we endeavor to give the agency back into the hands of the teachers. But the objective of this particular transformation project is to provide the right kind of knowledge, the tools, the skills that the teacher requires to unfold her creativity and reaffirm the agency in the classroom. So thank you so much, Sangeeta ma'am, for that lovely, insightful webinar that you've done for us to understand what exactly this is going to be and what we can look forward to. Now, dear principals and teachers, I want to know from you all, do you think it was a good idea that you all said yes for this? How many of you think that it was a good idea? Please put in the chat box. Yes, it's a great idea. It's as Dr. Joseph Emmanuel said, that you are the ones who have taken the bold step forward to pilot this particular project and to take it forward to all CISE schools next year. So thank you so much for that. How many teachers are feeling really excited about the academic rigor that they are going to see during the trainings? How many of you are excited about it? Really excited. Yes, we are all really excited for it. And, I wish I could be part of all the on-site trainings, Sangeeta ma'am. Come and attend each one of them and be a part of this learning journey. I'm sure they're all going to learn and grow together through these on-site trainings. Now, I would like to share with you the brief implementation plan of the trainings. So as we've been in continuous communication, the RDCD team, I think the assistant officers at the Research Development and Curriculum Division have introduced themselves in the WhatsApp groups. We will just look at how the trainings, on-site trainings will unfold, and then we will go back to the Q&A session. So yes, may I ask the RDCD team to please put up the PPT?
In the meantime, if I may just put in a word, Dr. Bhavna.
Sure, ma'am.
We'll be happy to go through the entire schedule and the Q&A, but also we have a feedback form which we will post on the chat towards the end of this program, and we may request everybody to give their feedback, which is very valuable. I think it has already been posted. It doesn't take more than 20 to 30 seconds to complete. We would love to learn from what the feedback is like so that we can put it all together for the next. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes. Next slide, please. Can I request the slide to be changed? All right. So as you all can see, this is the statewide distribution of the pilot schools. From all across the country, we've had, actually, this is based on the density of schools of CISE across the country. But more or less, we've Trident covered all states. Next slide, please. Here you can see the clusterization of the schools into various clusters for the purpose of training and implementation of the pilot project. So the Delhi NCR cluster at present has 16 schools, Lucknow has 20 schools, Mumbai, can you please go back to the previous slide? Mumbai has 32 schools, Pune 15 schools, Hyderabad 19 schools, Bengaluru cluster 19 schools, Chennai cluster 14 schools, and Kolkata 49 schools. So Kolkata actually has 3 clusters. Next, please. Next slide. When we look at the schools in the Delhi cluster, we are also calling it, we'll change it to the NCR, Delhi NCR cluster. So we can see we have Chandigarh, Strawberry Fields High School, Haryana, Shriram School, Lieutenant Atul Kataria Memorial School, Shikshantar, the Shriram School again. From Chhattisgarh, we have the Rajkumar College, Uttarakhand, St. Joseph's Academy, Brightland School, Unison World School. 2 of the Unison World Schools are there. Of course, from New Delhi, we have the Frank Anthony Public School. From Punjab, we have St. Joseph's Convent School, Sacred Heart Convent, Sri Guru Hari Krishna Public School, and Mother Teacher International School. Next, please. Here you can see in the Lucknow cluster, we have schools from Madhya Pradesh as well, MSP Educational Institute and the Sanskar Valley School and Progressive Heights, 3 of them from Madhya Pradesh. The Uttar Pradesh schools, Girls High School and College, St. Joseph's College, Rani Lakshmi Bai College, Public School, St. Anandram Jaipuria School, Methodist High, Dr. Virendra Swarup Public School, Loreto Convent Intermediate College, St. John's School, Dr. Virendra Swarup Education Center. We have the Modern Academy, Lucknow Public College, Jeevan Mark, and then Sophia Secondary School, St. M.R. Jaipuria School, St. Thomas's School, St. Mary's School, City Montessori Inter College, Aliganj, I think, and Dr. Virendra Swarup Education Center, once again, another school. Mumbai has 2 clusters. The first Mumbai cluster has participants from Gujarat as well. So from Gujarat, we have the Anand Niketan School, St. Paul's School, Vapi Public School, and Jamnabai Narsi School. And the Maharashtra schools, the Gokul Dham High School and Junior College, Cathedral and John Connon, J.B. Pettit High School, Jamnabai Narsi School, the Scholar High School, Jasad Ben Emil School, Arya Vidya Mandir, Bombay Scottish School, Lokhandwala Foundation School, Vasudev C. Vadhva, Arya Vidya Mandir, P.G. Garodia School, and the Lodha World School. Next, please. The Mumbai Cluster 2 has the following schools: Activity High, Lady Ratnabai and Sri Mathura Das Visanji Academy, Pawar Public School, North Point School, Avalon Heights International School, Shishu 1, the Bai Ababai F. Pettit Girls High School, Sanjeevani International School, Children's Academy Kandivali, Children's Academy, another one I think Kandivali, or Children's Academy Malar. Parle Tilak Vidyalay, we have the Pawar Public School, the Orion School, Ramnivas Bajaj English High School, and Sri Chandulal Nanavati Vidya Mandir. We have a Pune cluster where schools from Pune and a few from Thane have been added. So we begin with the Bishop's School, the St. Mary's School, St. Helena School and Junior College, Srimati Sulochana Devi Singhania School, Thane, Hira Nandani Foundation School, I think this is also from Thane, Presidency School, the Bishop's Co-ed School, Wisdom World School, Pratima Palande School, Pawar Public School, Wisdom World School, another one, another branch, Educon International School, St. Peter's School, Pravashi Academy, and Barnes School and Junior College. This is the Pune cluster. Next, please. We have the Hyderabad cluster where schools from Kerala, Odisha, and Telangana have been clubbed together, and Andhra Pradesh as well. You can see the names. From Andhra Pradesh, we have Sri Veda English Medium High. From Kerala, the Loyola School, St. Thomas Residential School, Bethany Academy, Christnagar High Secondary School, Auxilium School, St. Francis English Medium School, Greenwoods Public School, Lekol Chimpaka Serene Valley. From Odisha, we have the Stewart School, St. Paul's School, Rourkela, St. Joseph's Convent Higher Secondary School, and St. Teresa English School. From Telangana, the Hyderabad Public School, Nasir School, Johnson Grammar School, Geetanjali School, Sri Aurobindo International School, and the Johnson Grammar School, the other branch, the Hapsigoda branch. Moving on to the next slide, please. The Bengaluru cluster has schools from Karnataka, Malyaditi International School, St. Mary's Public School, Little Flower Public School, Sri Kumaran Public School, Kurk Public School, Shishu Graham Montessori and High School, Daffodils English School, Sarala Billa Academy, Mitra Academy, Christ School, Sharada Vidya Public School, Gyan Shrishti School of Excellence, New Age World School, Tapovan School, BGS World School, Kingston High School, Christ School, Amrita International Vidyalayam, and Bishop Cotton Boys School. In the Chennai cluster, we have schools from Tamil Nadu, Cisce, Jeevana School, Goddard School, the Vikasa School, Lakshmi School, Wales International School, the Little Kingdom Senior School, Sacred Heart International School, Cisce OMR School, the NPS International Chennai, Christwood School, GD School, Amazon Public School, and Cluny Vidya Vihar. Next, please. Kolkata has 3 clusters. The schools in the first Kolkata cluster are from Assam, Jharkhand, Meghalaya, Sikkim, and West Bengal. So from Assam, we have the Assam Valley School and the Sanskriti, the Gurukul. From Jharkhand, we have the D. Nobly School, Gulmohar High School, Loyola School, Bishop Westcott Boys School, Bishop Westcott Girls School, and JH Tarapur School. From Meghalaya, we have Jovai Public School. From Sikkim, we have the Tashi Namgyal Academy. From West Bengal, in the Kolkata Cluster 1, we have Assembly of God Church School, La Martiniere for Girls, Loreto Day School, Loreto House, the Park English School, and the Dolna Day School. Second cluster of Kolkata, please. Here we have, in the second Kolkata cluster, we have schools from West Bengal only. Vidyasagar Shishu Niketan, Douglas Memorial Higher Secondary School, Alfonso School, Sacred Heart School, MC Kejriwal Vidyapeeth, the Future Foundation School, St. Agnes School, Krishna Nagar Academy, Carmel School, Modern English Academy, Calcutta Public School, St. Anthony School, the Modern Academy, another branch, Vivekanand Mission School, St. Francis Xavier School, and Mahadevi Birla Shishu Vihar. Kolkata Cluster 3 has the Union Chapel School, Purvanchal Vidya Mandir, Vivekananda Mission School, the Heritage School, St. Michael's School, Nivedita Academy, the BSS School, Garden High School, Desari Public School, Pramila Memorial Advanced School, Himalayan English School, St. Peter's School, Mount Zion School, Lions Calcutta Vidya Mandir, Nopani High, Loreto Day School, the Greenview English Academy. I hope you all have made a note of which are the clusters that you belong to and which are the other schools in your cluster. Next, please. Next slide, please. So here we can see the training schedule for the one-day on-site training. The first session is scheduled on the 18th of February at Delhi, basically at the CISE Noida office. The mails have already been sent to all the participating schools about the scheduling and the exact venue and the date. The second session is scheduled at Lucknow on the 22nd of February at the Seth M.R. Jaipuria School. The third session, which is the Mumbai Cluster 1, is scheduled on the 24th of February at the Jamnabai Narsi School, and the addresses have been sent to all the participating schools. The fourth session is scheduled at Hyderabad on the 5th of March, and this is again at the CISCE Hyderabad office. Now, the participating schools here, if any of the participants require accommodation, lodging, and boarding, then they can write to the email ID that has been sent to them. This is on payment basis. Since the facility is available at the CISC COE because it's a training center, we will be able to offer you accommodation, but that will be on payment basis only. The next slide, please. The fifth training session is scheduled at Bengaluru on the 8th of March at the Bishop Cotton Boys School. The address has been shared with the participants. The sixth training session is scheduled at Chennai on the 10th of March at the Shishya School. Then we move to Kolkata, and the Kolkata Cluster 1 is happening at the CISE Kolkata office on the 12th of March. The Cluster 2 training will happen on the 15th of March, and the Cluster 3 training is scheduled for the 17th of March at the Kolkata office of CISCE. The 10th training session is again going to be at Mumbai Cluster 2. The date has been changed because previously it was scheduled for the 26th of February, but we realized that on 26th of February, there is the ICSE Hindi examination. That is why we moved the date. And now the new date is, so somebody has put in why Bangalore is on Sunday, because Sunday is a day where we will be able to not disturb the schools the host school's work also, as well as get undivided attention of all the teachers. There is a very, very massive requirement, an important requirement, that we should be able to complete all these on-site workshops before April, so that implementation can begin in April. The schedule has been made keeping in mind the examination date sheet of the ISC and the ICSC, as well as other festivals around those dates. So the day on which there is a festival that has not been scheduled for training, therefore we had to compensate by putting in Sundays. So request you to kindly accommodate on that. So the Mumbai cluster, second Mumbai cluster training scheduled on the 22nd of March at Activity High School. And the 11th training session is scheduled at Pune on the 24th of March at the Wisdom World School, Wakar. So next slide, please. Now here we have already created the WhatsApp groups, but in case any of the schools from the Delhi cluster have not joined in the WhatsApp group, you can scan the QR code and join the WhatsApp group. The officer in charge of the Delhi NCR cluster is Mrs. Gunjan Khurana, and the date of training is the 18th of February. So there is a question from Bishop Westcott Girls, how to apply for accommodation for training for Kolkata Cluster 1. Ma'am, we are not providing any accommodation for any participants, as it is Kolkata is a non-residential training center. It is only at COE Hyderabad where on payment you can book your lodging and boarding. The next slide, please. So the Lucknow cluster, the officer in charge again is Mrs. Gunjan Khurana, and the date of training is 22nd February 2026. In case any school that is part of the Lucknow cluster has not joined the WhatsApp group, you can do so by scanning the QR code now. Moving on to the next one. The Mumbai cluster 1. So for both the Mumbai clusters, the officer in charge is Dr. Lini Saikia. The WhatsApp groups have been formed separately for Mumbai cluster 1 and Mumbai cluster 2. In case any one of you has not joined, please scan the QR code and join as per the details shared with you just now. The training date is 24th of February for Mumbai cluster 1. Next, please. The Hyderabad cluster, the officer in charge is Dr. Manika Sharma, and the date of training is 5th of March. If anyone from the Hyderabad cluster has not yet joined the WhatsApp group, you can do so by scanning the QR code given here. Next, please. The Bengaluru cluster, the officer in charge is Dr. Lini Saikia. The training is scheduled for the 8th of March. If anyone has not joined the WhatsApp groups, the master trainers and the principals, they can join so by scanning the QR code. Next, please. The Chennai cluster, the officer in charge is Ms. Parul Kohli. The date of training is 10th of March. The QR code for the WhatsApp group is given here. If any master trainers have not yet joined, kindly join. Next, please. Kolkata clusters. Kolkata cluster 1 WhatsApp group QR code is there. The officer in charge is Dr. Madhushri Chatterjee, and the date of training is 12th of March. Moving on to the next one, please. The Kolkata Cluster 2, the training is scheduled on the 15th of March. The QR code for joining the WhatsApp group is on your screen for Kolkata Cluster 2. Next, please. The Kolkata Cluster 3, the training is scheduled on the 17th of March, and the officer in charge is Dr. Madhushri Chatterjee. The QR code for the WhatsApp group is on your screen. You can scan and join. Next, please. For the Mumbai Cluster 2, the training is scheduled on the 22nd of March at Activity High. The officer in charge is Dr. Limi Saikia. The QR code for the WhatsApp group is on the screen. Next, please. The Pune cluster, the training is scheduled on the 24th of March. The officer in charge is Parul Kohli. The QR code for the WhatsApp group is on your screen. In case you have not yet joined, kindly scan and join. We will be sharing this presentation with all the pilot schools. This detailed schedule with the WhatsApp group QR codes will be shared with all the pilot schools after the webinar. Next, please. All right, now coming to a very, very important part, confidentiality. Now, as you understand, Cisce is taking up this curriculum transformation project. It is the first time in the country such a massive scale curriculum transformation is happening. So we request you to kindly maintain the confidentiality of the project. Now, all the Cisce pilot schools will be required to keep in mind the following concerns regarding the confidentiality of this project. We will really appreciate absolute trust, transparency and confidentiality on this. All the information and resources related to the pilot implementation of Cisce curriculum transformation project are to be treated as highly confidential. We observed that you were taking certain screenshots of the slides. Well, that's fine. You can use it for your own purpose, for your own rough reference, but we would request that they are not to be shared on any platforms with anyone. Whatever instructional materials, whether in the physical form or the digital form, are shared with the master trainers during the training workshops are not to be shared with any third party. Heads of the pilot schools and the master trainers are requested to utilize the shared resources for the purpose of implementation only at your school, in their respective schools, as and when guided by Cisce. And they must not disclose any information regarding the process, the implementation strategies, or the timelines in social media or any other public platform, please. We would also request a confidentiality clause document will be sent to all the principals of the pilot schools that needs to be downloaded and filled by the master trainers as well as the principals and sent back to us. Okay, so I think we've missed out on a name from the Delhi NCR cluster. It is the Graphic Era Global School. So sorry about that. Graphic Era Global School is also part of the Delhi NCR cluster. Right. So with this, I think we come to the end of our interaction today. Thank you. Can we stop sharing, please? Yes. We are opening up for Q&A now. So, Sangeeta ma'am, would you like to take up the Q&A, the questions that we've got in the chat box?
We can do it together, Dr. Bhavna.
Sure, ma'am. So we have a question from the Sri Kumaran Public School, ma'am. Who will be conducting the training sessions, and is the principal supposed to attend or just the master trainers?
Would you like to answer?
So the training at all the locations will be conducted by Mrs. Sangeeta Chima ma'am and Ms. Bala and other subject matter experts. And the principal definitely needs to attend the meeting. That is why we had said that we do want the principal to be a master trainer for the project, because they will be driving the project at their school. It is very imperative that they understand the nitty-gritties of the project. Yeah. So, Renu Sindhu ma'am, is one school receiving only one invite? For what, ma'am? Definitely for the webinar, we had said that do not distribute the link anywhere else. It would be good if all the teachers can hear it from the school through a single ID. But definitely for the on-site trainings, as we've mentioned, the 3 master trainers from each school will be a part of the training. Okay.
Will master trainers be required to work after school hours and holidays?
Sangeeta ma'am, would you please take that up?
Well, this is a project with phenomenal expectations and, most importantly, the highest of impact ever. I feel every individual, every master trainer, and every school principal should be more than happy and more than excited to give all the time that is possible to make this project a success. I'm sure with all grace, it'll happen. And you will never regret it. So find the time and achieve what we all set out for collectively.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. So a question that has been coming to us is that the teachers who have been nominated as the master trainers are having some kind of an examination duty or checking duty during that time. Now, I need to understand this with all of you, that we are doing a pilot project for preschool to class 8. Ideally, the master trainers for this particular pilot implementation should be teachers who are teaching till class 8. So when we put master trainers, or when we have identified teachers who are actually secondary or senior secondary teachers, how will we ensure an efficacious implementation at the primary and the middle level? So again, I am requesting that please choose your master trainers very, very intelligently, the ones who are going to drive the implementation from preschool to class 8. There is going to be ample training for the secondary and the senior secondary teachers as we go ahead. From July onwards, August onwards, trainings for those senior secondary teachers would also begin for the implementation in the next year for class 9th and 11th. As of now, we request you to place those teachers, make those teachers master trainers from your school who are preferably teaching till class 8 or maximum till class 9. So I hope now you'll be able to solve that problem that they are going as checkers.
Dr. Bhavna and Ms. Sangeeta, may I come in for a second?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
So, the success of this program depends upon the active participation of school heads as well as the master trainers. So, there is no question of not coming for the training. If you are not coming for the training, that means you are not willing to involve. Without involving yourself, we cannot achieve the best result for implementing this program. So, first you have to involve yourself, then only you will be able to help others. If there is a problem in participating, then it is better to opt out now so that others can get opportunity. So please don't keep yourself away from the active implementation of the program, your active participation is very much required for the successful implementation, understanding of the program. It's a feedback and feed forward both ways. We are partners in executing the program. So please make yourself available for the program, and the dates are already announced. I think school heads, whether they will be able to come for this program as of now, because of during the course of board exam, that you need to think. But facilitation is must. If the school heads are not able to come due to the board exam, then what is the next alternative? But involvement, understanding, and leading from the front, from the school heads, that is a must. If the school heads do not understand the nitty-gritty of the program, or the project will not be successful. So it's very, 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 very much required. So have a dialogue with every participating schools, one-to-one understanding of their convenience. If at all they are not able to come, why they are not able to come, that communication and feedback is very much essential. But one thing I am very sure, I think both of you will also agree with us, all others listening to me will also agree. It's a very innovative project, and anything that can transform the classroom is only the revamping of the curriculum and introducing the innovative way of teaching learning. And for making the teaching learning innovative, without involvement, nothing will happen. So please make sure that you are actively involved in the project, you are actively involved in the training program, so that you are in a position to train others.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for your intervention, sir. So yes, there is a question that can we make a change in the master trainers? That is the plan. We will be resharing the master trainers form with you after this webinar. In case you feel you want to change the names of the master trainers in that, please do so. Please feel free to do that. Ma'am, there is a question from the Frank Anthony Public School saying, directly or indirectly, are we imitating the IB framework?
No, we are not. There is a clear design around this transformation, which is not close to the IB framework at all. Inquiry-based learning is a universal student right. The IB framework follows it almost completely. All schools, all curriculums have the bandwidth to incorporate it in the best balanced manner possible, and that's what we are doing. What is really important is the existing curriculum of the council in all subjects, in all stages, stays. We are using the curriculum content and converting it into competencies. And that is the formula that we're using based on our national mandate. There is no scope of imitation in this program at all.
Right, ma'am. Thank you. So we would be sharing pre-reading material before the on-site workshop also. After this webinar, we will be sharing the material. But ma'am, the question is, do they have to bring any documents for the on-site workshop?
No. The on-site workshop would be it would be an experience where you begin to understand the implementation. But the structure is so well designed that once you understand, its implementation follows very smoothly. That is why the principal and the master trainers must attend the WOW workshops in the various cities. And only then will you be able to implement it to the best of your own ability, because that is the crucial requirement. The point that I would also like to highlight is, please bring your laptops with you so that there is a bit of digital engagement. The council will be sharing a pre-reading pack too, which will request you to read through, maybe for a couple of hours, not more than that, the important documents and the important pedagogical procedures that are infused into the curriculum. So These are international, well-grounded, researched pedagogical processes, practices, which have already been infused into the curriculum framework that is being created, which you will all be seeing for the first time when you come to the workshop. So that workshop is of paramount importance. Please come with an open mind. Get your tools, a bit of digital and your writing material, and be present completely that whole day for this purpose. Thank you.
There is a question, are we going to have textbooks as per NEP 2020? That is the first question. And another question related to textbooks is that do we need to then not prescribe textbooks for the coming academic year?
I think, if I may be permitted to answer, the shift has to be gradual. The textbook is just a tool in learning. You use it, the teacher uses it, the children refer to it, and parents feel very comfortable with it for some reason. But there is no prescription to a particular publisher, etc., as I understand. It is the content that we work around. But since we're shifting from content to competencies, I think the relevance, the past relevance of textbooks will slowly die down. And that is what is planned. It will happen slowly and gradually. Self directed learning is going to take over, and a textbook will never satisfy that need.
Yes, ma'am. So I would just like to add to that, as you said, that it's a gradual process. As of now, whatever content the students are studying or will study in the next grade, and if the school thinks that there is a requirement of the textbooks for that, please go ahead. Because here we are going to move, as ma'am said, from content to competency, where content becomes a tool for the attainment of the competency. So when when the training happens, at that time, the teachers would learn how to pick up any content and use it to build a particular competency in the school. So the textbooks, what exactly, whether that particular chapter, whether a piece of literature, a story, that is not the attaining knowledge on absolutely that particular chapter is not the goal. The goal is actually attaining the competency to understand, to comprehend, and to apply that particular concept to real life. So I think going forward, if you've already given the orders for the books or whatever, as you want to plan your academic year as you do it, please go ahead, because this is a gradual process.
Unmute.
So
though we are not planning to give any textbooks, so some sort of resource materials we are preparing, and it will be shared with the schools. So to help the schools and the teachers to take the journey forward, that you can convey.
Right.
The workbook kind of resource material we can share, so that the teachers will be clear about the shift that is happening from content oriented learning to competency based education, and how the learning outcome can be measured. So that kind of resource materials we can develop and share with the schools, but not exactly the textbooks. The policy of the council allowing the institutions to choose the textbooks of their choice will continue. We will not get into that domain.
So they're asking, can a teacher teaching class 9th be a master trainer? I think we've already answered that question. Yes, they can be a master trainer because they can lead the implementation of the project at the middle school. So that is fine. We were just concerned about teachers who are teaching at the 10th and 12th level, or 11th and 12th, perhaps having examination duties. So, sir, I would pose this question to you from the Sri Kumaran Public School, sir. Can we share information with parents that we will be piloting this from next year?
Yes, of course. The Sri Kumaran School is part of the pilot program. That information can be shared with the parents. next year. Once the training program is completed, the actual implementation will happen, and the school is part of it. That information can be shared.
Right, sir. Thank you.
One query received here, whether the primary and middle school headmasters can take the lead and attend the training program, because in most of the schools, primary head, the headmasters or headmaster of the primary wing is the in charge of curriculum from grade 1 to 8, and senior school principal is taking care of the higher classes as well as overall functioning of the school. Whether the primary headmaster or headmistress can take the lead, this query can be answered by Mrs. Shima and Dr. Bhavana.
Yes, Anita.
Right. So, in my thinking, because we look at this year and the 4 years and then the decades ahead. Firstly, it's important that the principal attends of the pilot schools. Secondly, a combination of leadership responsible for the preparatory, middle school, and of course the foundation be one of the three, plus the secondary. But the secondary training can also happen and will also happen at a large scale for the next year's full implementation. So we can have expertise from the foundation, preparatory, and middle school now. But if you can get a whole school leader as well, a vice principal, for example, or a curriculum lead, or any other such supervisor of the learning program, they're most welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So
Thank you.
essentially, the head of the institution should be part of the training program for understanding the nitty-gritty of the project and taking it forward from grade 1 to grade 12, because it's a continuous process and continuous program.
Yeah, from
And the begin,
KG,
yeah,
from KG, don't miss out
KG
on
onwards. Yes, yes,
kindergarten. Yeah.
yes. Foundational year is also important. Foundational year still grade 12. Yes, very important. Yeah.
The question pertaining to this is being asked by Anita Davar, ma'am, that what about the early years? So, ma'am, when we are referring, so the NEP has changed the terminology a bit. They are called the foundational years, ma'am. And foundational years are from preschool 1 to class 2. And foundational year program is very much part of this curriculum transformation. So, your nursery, lower KG, upper KG is now being called preschool 1, preschool 2, preschool 3, and then class 1 and class 2. So they are very much part of the curriculum transformation project. Sir, a question, will there be a change in the assessment pattern or the exam pattern?
So it's a gradual change. Again and again, we are reiterating. All of a sudden, these changes cannot be brought in. So we will launch this program from content to competency based education, active learning in every class. Based on that, the active learning assessment will begin from foundational years till grade 8. We will see the success of this implementation through the CISE Shine project. Once we are confident that things are happening in the right manner in every school, then we will take it forward to the secondary level. But in secondary and senior secondary level, competency based questions are becoming part of the board exam. That is happening. But in fact, that overhauling is not going to happen. Gradual change, gradual shift is going to happen. Primarily, the assessment at grade 3, 5, 8, 10, and 12 will be integrated and seen from the perspective of the success of what children can do after completing the course, not what they know. If they know, then only they will be able to do. It's interconnected. So that shift is going to happen.
So,
But it's a gradual journey.
it's a gradual journey. And as the weightage of the competency based questions, they are increasing every year in the board examination also. Gradually, we would try to build in these kind of assessment practices very gradually from the foundation stage and the preparatory stage and the middle stage, and then we'll see, as sir said, how we go forward. So there is a question, I think I can put it up to Sangeeta ma'am, that would the curriculum transformation project cover all K to 8 subjects? All subjects?
Yes, all the subjects which are now going to be called curricular areas will be covered. And the best part is that there will be a curriculum framework which will give you the vertical progression right from pre KG, or the nursery as you call it, to grade 8. You will have a scope and sequence design there, which gives you the detailing of how the curricular areas, curricular goals, competencies, learning outcomes, DOK, and assessment objectives are linked. The detailing is so precise that the teacher can use these, as well as she has the freedom to create her own. But what is more remarkable is two other documents which are unique to the council. One is teacher resource material, which will give you a fair idea of the detailing of the lesson plans connected to the curriculum framework of vertical progression and scope and sequence. And the second unique provision is an SRM, student resource materials connected to that particular learning outcome. So, this is going to be a holistic provision with a lot of depth and understanding. And I'm sure the teachers will be able to expand upon what is given. The schools will be able to value what has been given and integrate it into the learning program from April onwards in all the pilot schools up to grade 8.
Thank you, ma'am. So there is a question from the Frank Anthony School. Does CISC intend to implement NEP 2020 and NCF in totality?
Which is already happening. Again and again, we don't need to ask those questions. So the National Curriculum Framework and the National Education Policy 2020 is mandatory for all the Indian school boards in the country. All the Indian school boards, being a national board, we are bound to follow the National Education Policy and National Curriculum Framework. Within that framework, there are certain leverages are allowed, liberties are given to the school board. That liberty is definitely is going to be used by the council. The permissible deviations, accommodations, all will be used by the council, but we will stick to the National Education Policy and National Curriculum Framework.
Thank you, sir.
And this will be reflected through the curriculum and regulations launched by the council. So there is a curriculum from early years till grade 8, and there are regulations for ICSE and ISE examinations. So through this curriculum, you will come to know the content to be followed in the classroom. And this curriculum transformation project, this is an approach for learning. It's not per se, Mrs. Chima, Dr. Bhavana, repeatedly they have reiterated it, that we are not going to change the content. This is an approach to learning, how the content is effectively transacted in the classroom and how the content can build knowledge and skill set in the individual, in the child, in the students, in the learner. That is the approach we are going to bring in. So when we bring these aspects into the classroom, development of skill set and competencies, it is naturally going to align the global skill set and competency. So the Indian content rooted to Indian ethos and values and mapped to global competencies and skill set, both will be achieved through this endeavor. You don't, the schools, I am again reassuring, existing tools will be used for transformation. You may not find it as anything new is coming. No. But the approach will change. That approach, how the approach will change? Through the empowerment of the teachers. A teacher empowerment will happen through training program. So every school that is participating in this program should essentially part of the training program. Only after that wholesome training happens, this program can be fully implemented in the school. So it's very important to have empowerment of teachers for the successful launching of the program in the school.
Right, sir. I think you've also answered the question that was put up by Shri Rupa Kundu ma'am. She was asking, how do we ensure that standardization of this project is done through and through across the country? I think you've answered the question. It is going to be through trainings, through the teacher resource material and the student resource material, sir.
We will also get to know the result through the Shine assessment. Fully competency based, no content based assessment in Shine, because it is happening in an unthreatening manner, holistically, for giving feedback to the ecosystem. So grade 3, 5, 8 assessment launched by the council will going to be a powerful tool to see the effectiveness of implementation of this program. And this assessment will bring standardization too.
Yes, sir. I think we have noted down on all the questions, and there is one question from Chandrani Mukherjee, ma'am, that I would like to take. That will an appointment letter be issued to the master trainers? So, ma'am, once the master trainers undergo the training, we are going to have a selection procedure also in order to select the actual batch of master trainers who will go ahead and train all the rest of the CISC teachers, and definitely there will be some incentivization and recognition given to the master trainers from CISCE.
Only the best will be selected as master trainers, not everyone. So
Yes,
those who are participating in the pilot program will have to undergo for another selection process to be enrolled as a master trainer. Only after successfully enrolling as master trainer, then only they will be deputed for training the rest of the schools. So quality is the focus. So those who are exhibiting good quality will definitely find a place. So without quality, we will not be able to achieve excellence. So excellence by improving the quality. That is the objective.
Thank you, sir. A question from Avalon Heights. Our academic session begins in April 2026. Do we get CCTP content and materials before that for implementation? Sangeeta ma'am.
Yes, from K8, rather from pre-KG to grade 8, you will get all the required materials and you'll also be trained how to use it. And that's why the urgency, that's why the excitement. That's why the immediate necessity to plan up everything, When you have a priority, you have to focus towards it and achieve it first. Just relegate the rest to its due course.
Yeah. And also, please make them clear that let them continue with whatever teaching resources they have. This is an additional one, but it will not overburden the students or the teachers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a supplementary mechanism to bring the effectiveness of teaching learning.
Yes, sir. There is a question whether the teacher resource material will be free or at a cost. So definitely for the participating schools, for the pilot schools, it is free of cost. But my humble submission to all of you is please don't consider it as free and to be freely shared. That material
No, it is
of high
it is
value.
only for
It is
please
only
make
for
it
the
clear
pilot
that it's
schools,
only for their consumption,
for their
only for the
consumption.
pilot program,
Yes.
and that resources will be shared only after undertaking the confidentiality agreement as well as the undertaking that they will not share it with anybody else other than the teachers teaching in the school and the students. And it's digital access. We are not going to issue any printed resource. This is a digital resource, and the digital access will only be given to the schools those who have given that undertaking, confidentiality undertaking. It's a confidential resource only for for the schools that are participating in the pilot program. The teacher resource and student resource both are confidential as of now, but we will share it with the participating schools through the digital media.
Right, sir. Thank you. One last question, sir. I would like to answer. Sonali Gandhi ma'am is asking that they were part of the Shine project, so they haven't received the feedback yet. I would, with your permission, can I just answer that question?
Please go ahead.
So, Sonali Gandhi ma'am, yes, we have received the reports of the students and the schools for the CISC Shine project. There were certain aesthetic changes that we wanted in the reports, just the aesthetic changes, and we've gone back to the agency. We've requested them to make those aesthetic changes and send them back to us. By next week, I think we should be in a position to send those reports across or to publish them on the dashboards of the schools from where you can access them. So with that, I think, sir, and Sangeeta Chima ma'am, I think we can come to the end of this session. We've noted down on all the questions that were put up in the chat box. And if we've missed out something, we are going to make a FAQ document again based on all the questions that we have not been able to answer. And we will share that document with all the pilot schools. So, sir, with your kind permission, may we close the session for the day?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mrs. Chima. Thank you.
Thank